Hello dear students, I hope that you all are doing well and you all are at home and safe. So students, I welcome all the students of class 4 over here. My name is Rashmi Chhetri and today we are going to start with GK. It's knowledge. The name of the book is Knowledge Quest for class 4. Okay, I suppose that you all have got this book. Just have a look at the book and take out this book, everyone. It's Knowledge Quest 4. We are going to start with first chapter. So I welcome all the students to for the first video of class 4 in GK. Okay, so the name of the chapter is Handling Flags. Flag, okay, we all know there are 3 colors in our national flag, right? It indicates, all 3 colors indicates some different sign, right? So we all should respect the flag, okay? It's our pride and it's our duty to make our country proud, and national flag, it's very respectful and we need to respect it. Okay students, so let's start. Everyone, take out your, I hope that you all are ready with your notebooks and pencils. Okay, our national flag is a symbol that identifies our country. Okay, our national flag, it identifies our country. Okay, means different countries have different flags, but when we see among all the flags, we can clearly identify which flag means denotes which country. Suppose if there are 10 flags, okay, of different countries, if we see the tricolor, okay, tricolor flag, that is our national flag, then that means this is representing our country. It identifies, the national flag identifies our country, India. Okay, it is very dear to us and we respect it. We should respect it, okay, but we need to be very careful while handling and using it. Our national flag is also called the Tiranga or tricolor because it has 3 colors. Okay, did you know this? Our national flag is also called Tiranga or tricolor because our national flag consists 3 colors. Okay, so there are, you might have seen, there are different parts like the roping part, the flying part, the pole, all that. Today we are going to study each part in detail. What does it indicate and what is its work, how is it working? Okay, let's see. The first one, you can just look at the picture. The first one, in this flag there are different parts, it is labeled. Now we are going to study in details about this labeled part. Okay, so the flag mast or flag pole, the pole you have seen now, this one, it is called flag pole. Okay, it is the pole on which the flag is unfurled or supported. This is the pole, means these pole support the flag to unfurled. Okay, and means entire flag is supported in this pole. Second one is halyard or guy line. Okay, this one, the rope in the back of that pole is called halyard or guy line. It is the rope which takes the flag up from the ground or back down to the ground. Means that rope helps, this halyard helps the flag to move up and to bring down. The third one is stay rope. This one, the front part of the pole. Okay, front rope of the pole, it's called stay rope. It holds the flag at the right position on the halyard. Fourth one is toggle. There you will see a small circle. In the flag also you will see, you will get this circle. This is called toggle. It is a wooden cross piece tied to stay rope so that the flag flies at a certain height. This small circle is made of wood. Okay, and it holds the flight. It holds that flag to move it to fly it in a certain height. Okay, that means this is a very important part of a flag because it means it is tied to stay in the rope so that the flag flies at a certain height. Number 5th is hoist sight. This one, see, near the flag you will get this black color margin type, so this is called hoist. Okay, so let's see how it is worked. This is the part of a flag nearest to the flagpole. Okay, Next one is number 6 is fly. This is the part of the flag farthest from the pole. It is the part that is farthest from the pole, and this part is really that flies. This is the part that really flies. In this flag, this is only the part that actually flies. Okay. So the next one, 7th one is cleat. It is a small piece of wood or metal fixed at the middle of the pole. It is here that we tie up the halyard after the flag is hoisted. So students, these were all the details of our national flag. Okay, go thoroughly and read it one more time at your home. Here in this diagram, all the parts are labeled, and it has been explained in details as I have said you just now. Okay, so just go through the chapter and read it by yourself also. Okay, so now let's do chapter number 2. It's from history. Okay, I suppose that you are ready with your exercise book. So in this chapter, the name of the chapter is India Our Motherland from History. It is the questions from history. Okay, so answer the following question. Born in 1469, he was the founder of Sikh religion. In 1500, he left his family and joined the Sufis. He always taught that there is only one God. He was the founder of Sikh religion. Okay, that means Guru Nanak. Okay, second one, he was the Rajput king who never submitted to the Mughals. He spent his entire lifetime fighting them. His horse was named Chetak. Rana Pratap, you might have seen in the television, in the story there, the story of Maharana Pratap is given. So Rana Pratap was the Rajput king who never submitted himself to Mughals. Okay, the third one, he was the first Indian to win the Nobel Prize for Literature for his book Gitanjali in 1913. Our national anthem Jana Gana Mana was composed by him, none other than Rabindranath Tagore. Okay, he wrote the national anthem that we sing, Jana Gana Mana. The writer is Rabindranath Tagore. Okay, he was the first Indian to win the Nobel Prize for Literature for his book Gitanjali in year 1913. Fourth one of the greatest Mughal and became an emperor at very young age. He founded a new religion called Din Ilahi. Akbar, you might have heard about Akbar. Okay, so number 5th, he was the most famous disciple of Ramakrishna Paramhansa, and was the founder of Ramakrishna Mission. His speech at the Chicago Conference of World Religion in 1893 made the Westerners realize the greatness of Hinduism. Swami Vivekananda. Okay, the answer is Swami Vivekananda. 6th one, the first martyr of revolt of 1857. This sepoy opposed the use of greased cartridge. He was later hanged. He was Mangal Pandey. Okay, number 6th. 7th, he was a brave soldier and a brilliant general. He was the last Indian ruler who could have prevented the British from establishing an empire of India. He was well known as the Tiger of Mysore. Tipu Sultan. Okay, number 7. And the last one, known as the Nightingale of India. This brave freedom fighter was the first woman governor of Indian state, UP, Uttar Pradesh, Sarojini Naidu. The answer is Sarojini Naidu. Okay, so let's move on to the next chapter. India, our motherland. Again, the historical sites, again from history. Okay. Name the following. Situated near Aurangabad in the district of Maharashtra, their wall painting depicts the life of Lord Buddha. Ajanta Caves. Okay. Number 2, situated about 40 km from Agra. It was built by Akbar in the honor of Sheikh Salim Kishti, a Sufi Muslim saint who blessed him with a son, Salim. Number 2, Fatehpur Sikri. Third, situated at Amritsar, it is associated with the massacre which occurred on April 13, 1919, when British troops under the command of General Dyer fired upon the people at peaceful meeting to protest against the Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh. Okay. Number 4, situated in Mandu in Madhya Pradesh. Its peculiarity is that it has wall sloping at an angle of 77 degree, that is Hindola Mahal. Okay, Hindola Mahal. Number 5, situated in Fatehpur Sikri, it is 38.5 meter high. It was built by Akbar to commemorate his victory over the Khandesh ruler of Deccan. It's Buland Darwaza. Okay. Number 6, situated in Mumbai, it was built in 1911 to commemorate the visit of the British monarch King George V and Queen Mary. Number 6, Gateway of India. Number 7, situated in Delhi, it is the mausoleum of Emperor Akbar's father, Humayun's tomb. Okay. Number 8, situated in Delhi, it is 72.5 meter high. It was built by Qutb-ud-Din Aibak in 1199. It is the tallest historical tower in India. It is the tallest historical tower in India. What is it? Qutub Minar. Okay. Number 9, situated in Kolkata, it is a huge building famous for historical painting, Victoria Memorial. Number 10, situated near Mumbai, it comprises 7 caves. These caves are rich in ancient sculpture. The main attraction is the huge Trimurti, the 3-headed bust of Lord Shiva, Elephanta Caves. So kids, now let's move on to chapter number 4, important events. Okay, so let's do this. It's page number 8. Gandhiji died on dash, we call it the dash. Gandhiji died on 13 January 1948. Okay, and we call it Martyrs Day. Okay, sorry, I forgot to write here. It's called day. Okay, Gandhiji died on 13 January 1948 and it is called, we call it the Martyrs Day. Okay. Second, since Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru loved children, we celebrate his birthday 14 November as Children's Day. Okay. Third one, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan was a great scholar and the second president of India. The dash day, the teacher day, is observed on 5th September to mark his birth anniversary. Okay, we celebrate Teachers Day to mark his birth anniversary. Okay, who's Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. Number 4, dash is also known as May Day or Labor Day. 1st May we celebrate as May Day or Labor Day. 5th one, the United Nations was established on 24th October 1945. Number 6, we protest against child labor on dash. We observe this day as World Day Against Child Labor, that is 12th June. Okay, child labor means, you know, the children, you can see somewhere in some places that child are working, instead of going to school they are working, that is called child labor. Okay, and to protest against this child labor, 12th June we observe this day as a World Day Against Child Labor. Number 7, we pay respect to our mothers on the second Sunday of May. We observe this day as Mother's Day. Okay, that is May, 2nd Sunday of May we celebrate as Mother's Day. Number 8, Pakistan invaded India for the first time on 22 October 1947. Number 9, Indira Gandhi was assassinated on 31st October 1984. Number 10, dash was the year of first war of Indian independence, that is 1857. Last one, in which year did Pakistani militants infiltrate in the Kargil section of Jammu and Kashmir, which led to the Kargil war? Which year? It's 1999. Okay, note down all this. Now let's move on to chapter number 5, the National Award. You might have seen in the television in Bollywood, there means in award ceremonies, all the celebrities used to get awards, different type, and all the awards has different names, right? So let's see what are they. Okay, the National Award, not in Bollywood, it's National Award. Okay, so the first one, the Bharat Ratna is the highest national award given in recognition to public service of highest highest order, that is the Bharat Ratna. Number 2, till now 40% has received this award, of which only two, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan and Nelson Mandela were non-Indians. These two were only non-Indians, and rest all have got this. Total 40 have got this award, that is Bharat Ratna. Some of the notable recipients are C. Raja Gopalachari and Indira Gandhi, the first woman, and Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, first foreigner. Okay. Second one, the Paramveer Chakra is the highest gallantry award for an act of bravery during war or any other such activity. The Paramveer Chakra, it is the highest gallantry award for an act of bravery during war or any such activities, like in armies used to get this type of award. Okay, not only armies, this award is given for the bravery. Okay, Major Somnath Sharma was the first recipient of this award. Havildar Abdul Hamid, Naik Subedar Bana Singh and Rifleman Sanjay Kumar are some other notable recipients of this award. Third one, the Dada Saheb Phalke Award is the highest award given for outstanding contribution in cinema. The name is the Dada Saheb Phalke Award. Devika Rani was the first woman and Prithvi Raj Kapoor was the first man to be honored posthumously. Okay. Next one, the Arjuna Award is given to a sports person for displaying outstanding performance both at national and international award. Okay. This award is given to a sports person for displaying outstanding performance. Okay. The name is Arjuna Award, the Arjuna Award. Next one, the Bharatiya Janpith Award is given in the field of Indian literature. The award comprises rupees 7 lakh as cash and a bronze replica goddess Saraswati Ji Shankara Kurup was the first recipient and Asha Purna Devi was the first woman recipient. Okay, so let's move on to chapter number 6. The name of the chapter is Our Heritage. Our Heritage. Okay, read out the following. This temple in Bodh Gaya in Bihar was erected by the great Emperor Ashok to mark the spot where Buddha attained enlightenment, that is Mahabodhi Temple. Okay. Second one, situated in Amritsar, it is the holiest Gurudwara of Sikhs. It is known as Harmandir Sahib or the Golden Temple. Okay. Third, this legendary temple was attacked by Muhammad of Ghazni, who ransacked its riches. It was destroyed again and again but rebuilt every time. Somnath Temple. Okay. Fourth one, a temple dedicated to sun god Surya. It was designed to represent his chariot with 12 huge carved stone wheels and 7 stone horses around its base. That is Sun Temple. Okay. Fifth one, a famous temple dedicated to Lord Shiva in the form of Nataraja and where Sri Vishnu is also worshipped as Govindaraja. The fifth one is Nataraj Temple. Okay. Sixth one, this 25 temples out of 85 originally built by the Chandelas of Bundelkhand have intricate carving and sculpture, and annual dance festival is held here, that is Khajuraho Temple. And the last one, this 12th century temple in Puri is one of the famous religious centers of India. The name of the temple means Lord of the World in Sanskrit. The most important annual festival associated with it is the Rath Yatra. Okay, and the answer is Jagannath Temple. So students, you will get all this content in our school website, that is www.bsnes.in. You can collect it from there and you can note down. Okay, let's meet up in the next video. Till then, bye bye.